This video is sponsored by Bityard. With over 400 cryptocurrencies to choose from on their spot exchange, dozens of USDT pairs for futures trading, perpetual coin futures, trade commodities like gold, silver and oil, Forex, and major indices like Nasdaq. You can buy crypto from Bityard with over 50 different fiat currencies using Visa, MasterCard, Google or Apple Pay. If you like, you can use their copy trade facility, follow other traders who will execute trades on your behalf, or become a copy trader yourself. So if you want a bit of that, click the link in the description. Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a quick look at Bitcoin. We're going to have an overview of the market and I'm going to put the case for the bulls. And that doesn't mean it's the only case. There's a variety of different scenarios that can take place on any one day. And there's a whole range of different things to look at outside of the chart, but we're going to focus on the chart specifically and then a little bit on open interest and who's doing what, which again, at the moment isn't particularly bullish, I have to say. So let's have a quick look. We'll start with the 4 hourly. So far, we're trying to hold, and again, it's been in a very anemic bounce. Not very convincing, but we've managed to just about reclaim this 200 exponential. Being above there would be good. Being below there is not very good at all. It does offer a very realistic possibility of coming all the way down, but for the moment, you know, we're fighting over here. This is very much the same as it's been this entire time. Consolidation all the way down. Can't break out of that. Appears to be an accumulation. Accumulations can be very choppy. This is how they are. This is historically how all accumulations look. They're choppy, they're rangy, they're all over the place, and they're designed to be accumulated within, whether you do it towards the bottom or do it towards the top. The general idea is that you would buy and you would hold and you would be rewarded in the end, and that's basically what I believe is going on here. It looks like that, feels like that, seen it before, not just on Bitcoin but on all kinds of altcoins, stocks and everything. It's all the same. It's all the same kind of it's all the same kind of vibe. But you could make the case that we're at the top of the accumulation zone and we'll be heading right back down again to meet this 37,000. That could be the case. But again, I'm trying to put the case for the bulls here. So let's do that on the daily. So again, we've established that we're trying to fight this specific moment right now on the 4 hourly to hold that 200 exponential. The 50 exponential is what's been held so far. Now this isn't particularly awesome or anything like that, but previously we've managed to use that as a support and a springboard to make our next big move up. We've also seen it being used as a resistance while going below it and heading all the way back down again. So again, this is relatively important, not only because it's got historical relevance in the short term, but also because if we break down from here, there's very little below us. You can make a pit stop at the 50 simple, pit stop at the Bollinger Band bottom. Most likely, I would imagine we'd head quite further down towards 40 and maybe even wicks below. Maybe we can head down to the bottom of what is the accumulation zone, which is about 37,000. All of that's possible, but for the moment we're above it. Okay, so let's have a look at the weekly. What's the weekly saying? The weekly is also 50 exponential and 10 exponential. Now historically, the 50 exponential on the weekly has also been an accumulation point while being above it, and that could be what's going on here. We've got a descending 20 simple moving average, which is more or less kind of where we are right now. We do want to close above that. If we close above that this week, which is obviously going to be for CME charts today, but Sunday night coming into Monday would be a general spot chart. We do need to hold above that, and that to me, I would say we've got to do that about 44,000. Excuse me, 44,000 is what we're looking for. So again, you know, this could be the entry point for those who don't have it. It might not be the best one. Remember, it's an accumulation zone, and we could be up and down and up and down and up and down all over the place. We can even extend that accumulation zone to a much wider one, which is all the way down at this bottom to this top. So all of this could be an accumulation zone. Accumulations can be big, you know, we've seen, usually I'd say an accumulation is between 40 and a 70% range within a crypto, even with Bitcoin. And if we think about what we're looking at here, from the bottom side of this range, 32 all the way up to 52, it's a 61% range, so kind of in the middle of that kind of general vibe of an accumulation. Might sound like quite a large accumulation area, but really when you're thinking about crypto that moves, you know, hundreds of percent, then you know, it's actually pretty standard stuff really if you think about it. So your 60% range is, you know, is a big range, especially if you bought the top. But realistically, it's appropriate. Another thing the bulls have got going for them is still the conversion baseline cross is still in play. That was over here. This was a continuation of a trend signal. The only things that would cancel that out would be this blue crossed this red, so that's not happened. This cheeky span touched any of the price action, candle bodies. None of that's happened. So again, suggests that the trend is yet still in play. That is all is all still happening, right? So let's just digest what we're seeing. So the 4 hourly is a bit iffy. The daily is holding on the 50 exponential. So is the weekly. So this suggests maybe a support around here. And the trend is still in play. And in order for this trend to be cancelled out today, we'd have to travel down about 9%, so back down to 40,000 and close there for that to be cancelled out. Same tomorrow. Unfortunately, Sunday is a bit different. 41,000 is our bottom, and any lower than that is no good. Monday's the same, and then we go higher and higher and higher as the next week unfolds. So really, we do have to see some upside by next week. Otherwise, this is a cancel. This signal is effectively cancelled in my book. Yeah, we'll be looking for another setup to get bullish on it again. Otherwise, we're going to just be ranging once again within this accumulation range. Not particularly massively bearish on it, but I would say that yeah, for the short term, we'd wait for see it reset and wait for another setup to go long. Excuse me. So we've got the weekly, we've got the daily, we've got the 4 hourly, all offering some kind of hopium based on a technical point. But again, you know, it's not the best scenario we've ever seen in the world. But there is opportunity there if you want to play the statistics, which are actually in your favour. Not greatly, but they are in your favour ever so slightly. Probably say about 55 to 60% in favour of bulls at this particular moment. Now, outside of the chart, what we've got is. This is just a general view, and this is one of the main ones we'd look at. Binance is where people like to get liquidated, and the longs are extremely high. They're almost 71% long. They're asking for trouble. BitMEX 50-50, and Bitfinex doesn't really count because this is, I think, it's just broken. It's always like this. So we never really look at the total. It just gives an idea of what the retailers are looking to do, and it would appear that the retailers do want to wreck themselves at the moment. 71% long is quite high. It can obviously go higher, but it's pretty unusual for it to be this high. Especially when the price action is so weak, really. Look at the open interest, which is something we can have a little think about, which is, you know, just short of 14 billion. It's quite high historically. We don't like to get particularly high. We looked at this briefly a couple of weeks ago, saying that look, historically we have got a lot higher than this, and it does pull back to a large extent if we do. But really, between 13 and 14 billion does kind of mark a general toppy vibe, although, you know, it's not anything to particularly hold on to. Horizontals aren't the greatest when it comes to look at this open interest, and the more popular Bitcoin gets, the more open interest is going to be. This is open interest from longs and from shorts, so it's a combination of both. But as we've already recognized just from looking at Binance, it's probably majority longs, which means that if there's going to be a liquidation event, it could quite easily and most likely would be to the down. So unfortunately, that's not in favor of the bulls. The chart, like I say, has got some kind of support building around this level. We could potentially move from here and move back up and clear a path back up towards this 200 exponential over here and get above the 46,000. That would be good, but for the moment, it's pretty weak, I have to say. But on a chart basis, TA basis, we're 55 to 60% in favour of bulls. One last thing we're going to show you though is the total market cap excluding Bitcoin, a bit of an overview of altcoins. And again, this is slightly different. So if you think about our relationship over here to moving averages, we're above the 200 exponential, actually much more a better looking chart than Bitcoin's chart. And this is, again, a general vibe of what's going on for altcoins. Looking at the weekly, again, you know, it's similar to Bitcoin, being just below that 20 simple moving average, the center of the Bollinger Band. So again, make or break kind of for the weekly. We do need to close a little bit higher than this. And finally, I just take it to the 4 hourly. So I'm in a bit of a rush. I've got kids around me, and you know, people coming around for Easter. We've got this 200 exponential on the 4 hourly, got tagged. This is normally what you want to see after a golden cross. You want a golden cross, then you want to dump down into it, and then you want to see the continued rally from there on. So this is kind of what we've got here. And so for altcoins, generally speaking, this kind of setup is the sort of thing that you'd want to see for a continuation of a trend. It's the perfect entry point. If this were a single coin, for instance, you'd be looking at this and going, all right, I've got to give it a go then. I'll give it a try. And that's looking pretty neat and on the money there. So for altcoins, actually could could see some upside from here. And again, if Bitcoin finds its low here, finds its bottom on that 50 simple, that 50 exponential on the weekly and on the daily, and then moves up using the Ichimoku cloud trend, which is still in play, this would suggest that the market is actually, is actually okay. So remember, this is a bullish case for the bulls. It's not the only case, but it's sometimes worth having to think about all the things that we do see and not the things that we think or the biases that we have. We've referenced the open interest, which is high, and the people on Binance looking like they do really want to get wrecked. But on a TA basis, it's ever so slightly in favour of the bulls for Bitcoin and generally for the altcoin market. So I'm going to leave it with you there. But thank you for watching, guys. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.
Pas en pite.